As we start a yin practice for today, you'll just want to make sure you have with you maybe a pillow, bolster, or a block. I just have these pillows and also a blanket or a towel that you can roll up. So hit pause if you need to go grab those things. And find your way to simple seated with your spine long as you just feel a few long, slow breaths roll like a wave in your body. Before we settle into our yin postures, we will just find the first few moments of class to find movement. So inhale the arms up, palms, interlace the hands, palms press up towards the ceiling, and then side bend to the right. Inhale back up, switch sides. Pausing at the bottom of your exhale before switching sides, and then riding your full breath in. Our breath is so important right now. As we just walk through these unknowns, as we just show up to our day, maybe all we can do is just find that deep breath. Roll the shoulders a few times. Your breath is your guide back to peace. We'll just make our way to table. And then we'll step the right foot forward, drop the left knee down, uncurl the toes. We're just going to flow half splits to runner's lunge. As you inhale, come to that bent knee, runner's lunge, gaze up. Exhale, come to the heel of the right foot, straighten the leg. Moving at your breath's pace, just back and forth, waking up the muscles. And then on that next one, on runner's lunge, reach the arms up high. Maybe that right hand goes out to the side, goes down, you side bend that left arm to the right. Come back neutral. We'll just bring that right knee to meet the left. Take a few cat-cows. Your exhale is the rounded spine inhale to lift the heart and the gaze. Really allow your breath to lead you forward. Not the movement, but leading with the breath. And then we'll step the left foot forward, fingertips down, runner's lunge, lift the heart and the gaze, exhale, fold, straighten the leg. Again, just breathing into all the sensations you feel as you just flow, get your blood moving. Before we find the rest of our class in stillness. Next runner's lunge, reach the arms up high. Left hand comes down to the side, reach the right arm up and over. Deep, full breaths. We'll just gently come back out. Left knee meets the right. Cat-cow or any other movement your spine might want right now. Maybe you just make some circles. Learning how to listen to our body, to not force it to do what we want, but just letting it tell us how it needs to move. And then we'll come to neutral. Bring that left sole of your foot into the right inner thigh. Feel the back of the right knee drop down to the ground. Flex that right foot and then hinge forward, reaching from the waist. Again, in yin, we don't want to go into our 100% expression, especially not right away. So maybe just find 60%. You don't have to touch your foot. You don't have to even have a deep fold. You just need to find your own edge and then settle into stillness here. Without worrying about how long you're here. Really trying to quiet the mind with the breath to just stay present. As I read from Isaiah 54:10. Just breathe in these words. For even if the mountains walk away and the hills fall to pieces, my love won't walk away from you. My covenant commitment of peace won't fall apart. Just finding that gentle surrender in your body as we move out in our class today from fear to peace. The unknowns can bring up fear. But this commitment of peace won't fall apart even when everything around us might feel like it is. So we commit this practice to tapping into that commitment given to us, that we will always find peace. So again, as your mind wanders, just stay in the posture, stay in your breath. Because it can often be in this stillness, in these quiet postures, where we can struggle and we want to get out, but we learn the discipline of staying. Slowly come up. And we'll take our pillow or your cushion, whatever you have, and just bring your left hip up against it. Bring the knees stacked. I'm using 2 pillows just to make it a little more thick. And just turn the body in a twist here, in a really gentle twist. Just let your gaze be the opposite way of your knees. Learning that in each posture, even though we're not doing anything, but just resting in it, we're breathing. Our deep breath is our lifeline to peace. And it is physically impossible to hold on to any fears when we breathe from the belly. Because we're teaching our body that we're safe. As our breath deepens, we're tapping into our parasympathetic nervous system, which tells us it's okay to rest, that you're safe. But when we stop breathing, when we hold the breath, or when we keep it shallow in the chest, it triggers our body into the sympathetic nervous system, which tells us that we are in distress. So as you're here, just in this gentle twist, feel the comfort. Feel the soft landing you have. So you're ready, just gently walk back up. Take a simple seated as a reset. Just noticing sensations as we've only worked one side. Can you feel a difference, even a subtle difference, on your right and your left? Can you feel some tensions being released out of your body? This time, take the right sole of your foot into the left inner thigh. Draw the left toes back towards you and then hinge from the hips, keeping a long spine. Find your 60% here. And then you can just draw the chin to the chest. And on each inhale, the longer you're here, you might find that you can go a little deeper. If you need to back off, if it feels too much to be here for several breaths, then ease out a little bit. But notice if you're fidgeting a lot. Notice if you're moving constantly. Can you settle in? Can you find a stillness? Sometimes our fears can make us kind of restless. But as we breathe in that peace, it allows us to find stillness. Another version of Isaiah 54:10 says, even if the mountains were to crumble and the hills disappear, my heart of steadfast, faithful love will never leave you. My covenant of peace with you will never be shaken, says Yahweh, whose love and compassion will never give up on you. Even in the midst of a global pandemic, where people are becoming unemployed left and right, where the economy is falling, where we can't see our loved ones, my love won't walk away from you. My covenant of peace won't fall apart. You can walk yourself up. We'll just switch that twist, so bring your cushion, your pillow, your bolster, whatever you have, to the other side, bringing that right hip, stacking the knees, and then just gently twisting away from your knees. Notice even in your upper body if you're trying to hold yourself together. If you're tight in your shoulders, if you're gripping with your hands, just tune into these subtleties. Teaching our body what it's like to not have to hold ourselves together, but fully rest in this embrace of love that can't be shaken, that won't leave you, that you can trust. And if things are coming up for you on your mat, if being still is hard, just tune into your breath. A slow, steady inhale. Gentle exhale, either out the nose or out the mouth. Finding an even pace. Inhale for 3, 4, 5. Exhaling it out to the fullness, to the same count. Slowly wake yourself up. Press yourself back to seated. Few breaths in neutral. Bringing awareness to the body again. Full inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. can just take your bolster or your pillows off to the side. If you have a block, you can keep that. If you have a big book, I'm going to use my thicker pillow just to find a supported bridge. So coming onto your back, bring the feet hip distance, and then lift the hips up. And just above your tailbone, rest yourself onto whatever you have at home. That just gives you a little lift. If you have a block, maybe don't put it on the highest height. Again, we're not going for the fullness of the pose, but we're just finding that 60%. And then just let your weight sink down onto your support. Just as that reminder, I know I need it often, that I don't need to hold myself together. That in my fear, I go to self-protection. But peace allows us to rest. We are cultivating a peace in our body and a peace in our mind. So just let the fullness of your weight surrender to your support. Peace. It does not mean to be in a place where there is no noise, trouble, or hard work. It means to be in the midst of those things and still be calm in your heart. So we don't need to let what's going on around us and within us to dictate our peace. We acknowledge that it's all there. And then right in the midst of it, we come to our deep breath that puts a calm in our heart. And physically tells our body we're okay. Slowly lift yourself off your block, your bolster, your pillow. Just take your feet wide. And we'll just windshield wiper side to side. So inhale, center, and exhale, drop the knees one way. We'll just do a few side to side and then we'll hold. Maybe your gaze goes the opposite way of your knees. Not rushing the movement, but using the breath to set the pace. And then once the knees drop to the right, stay there. If you want a little extra, you can just take that right ankle and drape it just above the left knee, keeping both feet slightly flexed. If you want to place a pillow under that right knee, you can. But just feel how the right heel stretches out the left side. Breathe through the sensations, breathe into the sensations. Learning not to run from them, but to face them, to see them, and then to breathe peace into them. I know I've had to stop reading as much news lately because it can just make us feel like everything's spiraling down. It can feel scary reading numbers, seeing projections, not knowing how we get this under control. It can be easy to be afraid of all that we still don't know about this. Gently come out of it as you're ready. Just take the other side, dropping the knees to the left. Maybe bringing that left ankle just above the right knee, both feet gently flexed. It's so easy and tempting to fear the unknown, especially when we see it causing so much devastation. And so it's our work right now to keep coming back to peace. To ask ourselves, where are we setting our focus? What's our attention on? Is it on the news headlines? Is it on the media? Or is it on the one who says, for even if the mountains walk away and the hills fall to pieces, my love won't walk away from you. My covenant of peace won't fall apart. That is what is sure. That is what is steady right now. That you are surrounded and held in love, and that you can have a peace that makes no sense in the middle of all of this. That while externally things are chaos, internally you can rest in peace. As you're ready, you can just gently come out of that side. Maybe you hug the knees in if that feels right. Just find a counter pose that feels good to you after that. Maybe you make circles with your knees if you're hugging them in, going in both directions. And then we'll come sit up. We're going to do a little shoulder stretch. So come lay on your belly. Tops of the feet just resting down. We're going to open our arms like a T, so the palms are just in line with your shoulders. And we're going to start by bending that left elbow and just rolling onto your right side. So the right arm is out. The hips stack one on top of the other. You can rest the cheek. You can take the left hand and just bend the elbow. If you want to take the top leg and just bend the knee and place the sole of the foot behind you. But as we're kind of in this funky lying shoulder opener, just come back to peace here. Rest in the funkiness. Maybe you feel like you've just been carrying the weight of so much on your shoulders, and so this posture is just a release. We invite stillness in the body, but continued depth with your breath. Gently come out of it the same way you came in, rolling onto your belly. Maybe you stack the palms on top of one another and rest the forehead, or if it feels good to let the arms go back at your sides, just take rest before we move to the other side. Maybe just gently shake your hips out here, wiggling side to side slightly. And then when you feel ready, just opening the arms like a T again. Your palms face down. Roll onto that left side, right hip stacks on top of the left. Right elbow bends and just rests. Maybe you explore bending that top knee again, bringing the sole of the foot behind you. If you have room to go even deeper, you can even take that bottom leg and also bend it so the knees are touching. Both knees pointing up towards the ceiling. But remember, we're only at about 60%, so no need to push here. But right here, in the middle of it all, in all the fear, in the unknowns, in the waves that feel like they're crashing, what feels like mountains crumbling, hospitals overwhelmed, isolation and lack of community, how have you experienced this love that's not walking out on you? Maybe you just in the stillness invite the Spirit to show you how love has not walked out on you, how peace has not fallen apart. So you're ready, you slowly, the same way you came back in, come out. Just bring that hip stacking, roll to your belly, taking a few breaths of rest. Feeling your sensations in your body as we hold postures for a while. And we build some flexibility within the fascia that's just holding our muscles together. Just notice how you feel in the parts of the body you just worked. We'll press ourselves up when you're ready. And take that blanket or towel that you have. Maybe you have an extra yoga mat. We want to roll it so that it's long. We're going to lay our spine on that roll. So if it feels too high, you can unroll some of your blanket, but kind of roll it and then put it vertically. And we're going to rest the low back right at the base of the roll, and then just let yourself fold over it. So a gentle heart opener here. Any position with the legs. You can do legs out long, bent knees, crossed at the ankles or shins, and anything with the arms that feels good. Just feel the shoulder blades rest down as the heart gently presses up. Palms are open. As you take your inhale, feel the back of the heart press into the roll of your mat or your towel. just going to read a prayer over you. O Lord, you are with me. I will not be afraid. I need you, Lord. I cannot do anything alone. I show up each day one foot in front of the other. I don't know the outcome, and that can terrify me. I want to always know what's next, but I choose instead to trust you. I will not let fear take a hold of me and stop me from what I know you have. Why do I ever doubt? You always meet me and guide me. You are great and mighty. You see all and you know all. I don't know why I ever let my worries bring me down. I let them turn circles in my head when I know that does nothing but cause more fear. Why do I worry when instead I can pray? So I bring these thoughts before you and surrender them. As storms surround me, I draw close to you and ask that you bring your peace that passes all understanding to my soul. Let not my heart be troubled. Let me not be afraid. Show me that you are with me. Let me feel your presence as I make decisions each day. You know me better than I know myself. You see what's ahead, and I know I can trust you. May I move into this day with boldness and confidence in you. Just paying attention to your inner dialogue. When you feel ready, you can just gently make your way up off your towel. Maybe you take that roll and you place it at the backs of the knees for Shavasana. You don't have to, only if it feels good. And then just let your legs out long. We'll find our final rest posture here. So just notice now that you've taken that support out of the back. Notice how it feels to have the full spine rested down evenly on the mat. Letting every part of your body find peace and stillness here. If there's any place you're still working to control, self-protect, you're gripping in your hands or in your jaw, if your shoulders are creeping into your ears, just find a relaxed space. Just going to read that scripture over you one more time as you just rest in the stillness and visualize this. Notice what you see. Isaiah 54:10. For even if the mountains walk away and the hills fall to pieces, my love won't walk away from you. My covenant commitment of peace will not fall apart. As you're ready, start to bring a little movement back, maybe just moving your fingers and your toes. Draw your knees into your chest. Rolling onto your side in a fetal position, just taking a few breaths. Noticing any difference you feel from the end of class, at the end of class from the start. What space you've created within yourself. What you've released and made room for. And then you can come up to seated when you're ready. With your eyes closed, your gaze softly down. Tall spine here. Breathing in the fullness of peace. You can bring your hands to prayer at your forehead. Peace in your mind. Hands to prayer at your heart. Peace in your heart. Palms open on your knees. And peace in your body.